This is gonna be a good show.
My name is Sam Johnson. I make a living performing on the streets. In my travels, I meet the most bizarre and fascinating entertainers. And now, I'm taking you with me. We are headed to the top of Mount Olympus and straight into the belly of the beast. To the lowest physical point in America, where the 1%ers come to showboat for each other. This place is about as phony and real as it gets.
Welcome to Paralyze.
Welcome to the entertainment headquarters of the underworld. Yeah! Key West is the mecca of street entertainment for two reasons: beautiful weather and huge tourist turnout. The city of Key West throws a massive island party every night of the year called the Sunset Celebration on Mallory Square. Drinks, vendors, more drinks, music, and raw entertainment. Key West is home to some of the best street acts in the world. But before we get into that, here's how this works. I fly to some city, I film as much as I can, and fill in the blanks from my parents' basement. And no, I'm not one of those. I don't live in my parents' basement. I share a room upstairs with my son. Thanks, Mom. Mallory Square, midday. Hot, dry, and arguably the most miserable spot on the island. A complete paradox to its after-hours reputation. But as evening approaches, you can feel a shift. Thirsty patrons and popcorn scavengers take their regular spots, anticipating the spoils of tourist spillover. And the entertainment is soon to follow. Dale the Sword Swallower has been here longer than any other entertainer. Dale always performs the first show of the evening, which is a double-edged sword. Get it? He doesn't want competition from the other acts, so he starts while they're still warming up. But if he starts too early, before the crowd show up, it can be brutal.
Come on, we're just starting the first show of the evening. I need an audience, guys, all the way up to the rope. Come on, ladies. I just need an audience up here. Come on, man. Come here, have some fun. I hate repeating myself. There's nothing else to do.
But Dale always gets a crowd, because Dale is smart, and he knows how to entertain, and he knows how to work the system. He always picks a spot by the water, and he does his first show right before sunset. Why before sunset, you ask? Well, like a Kardashian butt selfie, the masses flock to the edge of sanity to stare into the abyss of the normal and everyday. Literally.
Beautiful sunset. Beautiful sunset. Beautiful sunset. Beautiful sunset.
It's a sunset. As people trickle in for the sunset, Dale nabs them with his charm and a promise of seeing something that few people ever see in real life.
This is real. Now I'm going to swallow it. It's going to go all the way down. In between my lungs. Right up next to my heart.
Just do it already. This level of concentration is not dramatics. If the sword cuts him inside, one of two things will happen. He'll heal, or he'll bleed out, and you can feel the tension in the crowd. It's gross, it's dangerous, it's unnatural, and well worth $5. After this short break, we'll see some of the biggest stunts on Mallory Square, and things are about to heat up as entertainers butt heads.
I'm just saying, Juice, it's Mallory Square. If you get a show, you go home and you get a job.
Stay tuned. And now a word from our financial department. Do you like what you're seeing? Me too. Do you want to see more? Me too. Support this project by purchasing a t-shirt or leaving a small tip. If you can't give, support by sharing this video with people who do have money. Your rich aunt, your independently wealthy neighbor. Does anyone know the Donald? Do what you can for me, and thank you for your support. Now back to our regular programming. On any given evening, there can be up to 20 entertainers performing out here. And it's not a free-for-all. There are rules that govern buskers on Mallory Square. Let's investigate. Mallory Square is divided into 18 performance spots. Some spots are great, and some spots suck. 1 hour before sunset, entertainers come together to decide who performs where. Everyone draws a number from one of 4 buckets. Which bucket you draw from depends on how many years you've been performing here.
Been here 3 years, so I draw out of bucket 3.
Newer guys draw from the first bucket, which contains higher numbers, and the regulars draw from the last bucket, which contains the lowest numbers. It's just like golf. You want the lowest number, and it's boring as hell to watch. This system guarantees the regulars' first pick and the best spots. It's not uncommon to slant rules in the favor of locals. They're the ones who are committed to staying here year-round and making this event happen. The locals in Key West are so dedicated that many of them have joined the board of directors, which is responsible for making these rules. But there are always some young, talented, naive whippersnappers willing to conform to nepotistic rules to realize a dream. And then there are those who bypass it all by default. 3 of the youngest entertainers here are in the top tier in rank and performance ability: Jace, Reed, and Blue. These guys all grew up on Key West. They were all mentored by the same entertainers, and they all sound the same.
It took me 10 years to learn this show. I've been doing these comedy shows for like 10 years. I've been doing my show for 10 years.
These guys started performing before their balls dropped, and it shows. They have a natural ease with the crowd that only comes with years of experience. So young, so seasoned, so tender. Wait, what are we talking about here? Juggling Jace, juggles. He also rides a tall unicycle. Unicycles are kind of overplayed on the streets, everybody's got one, but it's rare to find a 10-footer.
Check it out, check it out.
Reed has a great confident demeanor, and a busted tennis racket. The future of this act's at the mercy of genetics. Yeah, Mick Ultra anyone? This thing's called a rollabola. There's a few guys out there doing them, but none of them do this.
Oh, wow.
Damn, that gets my vote for best stunt on Mallory Square. Blue is not a jack of all trades, but a master. One-armed handstand, serious trick. Juggling 5 machetes, very serious trick. And that hat manipulation stuff takes forever to learn. Hey look, there's another one of those rare 10-footers. Okay, maybe 10-foot unicycles aren't that rare, but think of this. A basketball rim is 10 feet in the air, but this isn't like hanging off a basketball rim. This is like sitting on one. And catching a hat on your foot. Wait for it.
Everybody count down with me. 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
If you got the skills, street performing can be one of the best jobs on the planet. But it's not all fun and games. Not all the time. Johnny's one of the regulars, but he's been away from Mallory Square for over a year, and he's having a little trouble getting back into the swing of things. And as he warms up, he's getting vocal.
I'm going next. I'll be the next performer here. Whatever happens, I'll be going next.
He's been back for 3 days and he hasn't been able to pull off a show. Not because he doesn't know what he's doing, or because he doesn't have a great act, but because, well, Blue says it best.
The Hunger Games for all the street performers. Welcome. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Everyone's competing for the same crowd, and that can cause friction between the entertainers.
I'm just saying, Juice, it's Mallory Square. If you get a show, you go home and you get a job.
You take that shit around other country, people can boo you and beat you for that. Because you know what? You gotta learn to love and
I
share.
know that. If I don't start, then he's gonna start, you're gonna start, and then I'm not gonna get a show.
Tension is building because one of the biggest acts on Mallory Square is performing all by itself. All the entertainers are preparing for that show to break, and as soon as it does, it's going to be a race to collect the departing audience before the guy next to you.
You guys, look, another one!
Come Everybody, please come now. Please come now before it gets too dark. I'm a black guy. Hurry up, let's go.
Johnny's time away has made him rusty, and he's competing with entertainers who are at the top of their game from months of performing. He watches his crowd slip away to the shows around him. In like a public prayer of desperation to anyone who will listen.
I'm the only one I haven't done a show. Can't you see, everybody? Open your eyes. I haven't done a show. Please come give me an audience. I'll give you all the best show here.
4 days of no shows and no money is taking its toll.
They have a plan to destroy my act. Look around and see who I am and what I do. I have the best show here. The best performer with the worst show right.
This is as real as it gets. This is the equivalent of showing up to work and being sent home. In keeping with the life is good, everybody wins TV viewing experience, I should show you footage of Johnny succeeding. But I can't. In the 3 days I was there, the exact same scenario kept playing out.
That's our lady, guys.
Before we move on, I have to say, this is not the end of the Johnny story. We're going to come back to him. Not in this episode, but I promise you, you're going to be extremely impressed by how this man lives. Now, moving on. In my very first video about street performers, I featured a couple of guys from Boston, David and Toby. And what was significant about them is they were so good and made so much money that they were able to buy an apartment in Boston. I mean, most blue-collar boys can't pull that off. Street performing is a very transient lifestyle, so I wasn't surprised when I saw them down here. But guess what? Those boys own a house, an entire house on the island of Key West. To put that into perspective for you, apartment in Boston, $250,000, $300K. A house on the island of Key West, you're looking at $500,000. We're talking $750,000 in property here. Is that even possible? Is there active mafia front? Are they trust fund hippies with haircuts? We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Yo, yo, yo! This is a Webisode inside a Webisode. Street Cribs with Sam Johnson. We are at the most humble, plain, and ordinary abode of Key West's most revered, feared, and straight-up weird acro-juggling duo. Lifelong partners in monkey business and the cash money business. These cats are larger than life. Listen to their passion as they answer deep, revealing questions about their real estate success. Who actually owns the house?
We both do.
Did you inherit the house?
No. Bought it.
Mom and dad chip in, or a trust fund?
No.
You paid for this house solely with street performing money.
Right.
Things were heating up fast, and for the safety of the crew, I had to pull the interview. But before I could get out the door, David had one last thing he wanted to show me.
This is my fiancée, Willow.
Oh. Well, that answers one question I didn't quite know how to ask. Juggling partners, house-owning partners, I just thought... Can we get a little kiss for the camera?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. What are you, a local actress or a neighbor or something?
Right, I'm gonna go back to being gay now.
After hours of poking and prodding, and not each other, it turns out David and Willow are engaged. But to get back to our original question of David and Tobin's financial success, it's best summed up with this. I can't convey to you how good these guys are with my secondhand GoPro and cell phone camera. But beyond being one of the best acts in the world, when most entertainers have gone home for the night, you'll find David and Tobin working the streets. As with anything in life, you get out of it what you put in. It even goes a little deeper than that. They don't drink, smoke, gamble, or shop at Lululemon. They save their money and go to church when attending the wedding or funeral of a religious friend. Did you get that? As I close out my final night on the island of Key West, I realized I could end this episode with some dramatic scenes highlighting the differences between street entertainers and ourselves. But after spending a week here, it's the similarities that stand out. Paying your dues, scraping by, adjusting your portfolio. Dreams and desires are universal. It's the ways in which we achieve them that defines us. Until next time, bon voyage! If you made it all the way to the end of my little webisode, then congratulations. To me, I'm on cloud 9. See? What you've just witnessed is the world's first digital street show. Be the first kid on your block to say, I donated to the world's first digital street show. $1 is a nice tip. If you really want to be a pal, leave me $2. Help me get on my feet. There are donation buttons placed strategically throughout the website. Find one! Or buy a t-shirt. They're way overpriced, but I need the money. On our homepage, click the icon that says shop. Select your size and desired color. And buy one! Support me, and I'll bring you more of this. First and foremost, I want to give a huge thank you to my friend Ashley, who watched my son while I filmed. I couldn't have done it without you. Did I pay you? Yeah, you're the best. A special thank you to the boys at Videosyncrasies for filming this dope drone footage. Did I pay you? I will. And the biggest thank you to you. That's right, you. To all my fans. Help me spread the word through your social media connections. And we'll become the biggest underground TV show in the world. Ha 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 ha!